Welcome to the CAD Builder video tutorial series. In this video, we will take a look at how to adjust legs for your cabinets. When adding legs to your cabinets, sometimes there is a need to change the legs to a different orientation. Let's take a look at how we can do that by setting up the correct angle and drill holes for that cabinet. First, we'll open up the construction methods, and I'll select a construction method I had used previously. Then I'll select the leg section within the toe kick folder, and you will see that we have front and back leg orientation settings, as well as left side and right side leg orientation. So if you have some asymmetrical legs, like casters, and you would like to change the way their default orientation appears, you can do that here. If I keep them all set to face front, when I open my wireframe editor view, I will see the casters facing the front of the cabinet like this. But if I would like to have my casters all facing the left instead of towards the front of the cabinet, back in my construction method, I would simply change each of these to the face left option by selecting it on the right-hand side. I will go ahead and take a look at the wireframe view, and now you can see that they are all facing to the left. Now you can also override this setting within the wireframe of the cabinet as well. So for example, if I would like this particular caster to face another way, I'll simply open Cabinet Legs, select it, and I now have a rotation angle value I can change here on the right. By clicking on the plus sign, it will continue to rotate it at 10-degree angles, as you see here. For now, I'll keep this at 180 degrees to match the others by typing in that value, which will set it back to the original orientation. Now, along with changing the orientation of the legs, you can also enable pre-drilled holes for these legs in the bottom of your cabinet. So first, I will open Materials in the Materials Management module. Then, for this example, I will select the Legs group on the left-hand side, highlight the center scallop foot in the center, and create a copy of it. With that scallop foot copy selected, in the properties on the right, I'll change the name to Scallop New, hit Enter, and we'll change the length dimension to 3 inches. We will scroll down to the Legs section, and we'll check that the Type drop-down is set to Legs. Then, below that is where you can edit the drill hole settings for that particular leg. Here, you can assign the hole diameter as well as the hole depth. I'll set the diameter to 3/8 inch and the depth to 5/8 inches. And below that, you can enable up to 3 additional holes for each leg by adding the appropriate values for the X and Y positions. These dimensions will always be relative to the center of the leg. So for this example, I will enable hole number 1 with the checkbox, keep the X position at 0 and the Y position at 0 as well, so that the first hole is at the very center of the leg. Next, I will enable hole number 2 with the checkbox and leave X position at 0, but I'll change the Y position to 1 inch. Let's look at the wireframe view to get an understanding of which direction the Y is relating to. For this cabinet, I'm going to select the new leg called Scallop New over on the right and turn on Show Processing with the icon above in order to show the drill holes. Here it shows hole number 1 at the center, and then hole number 2 is towards the back of the leg face. If I change that Y position to a -1 back in the materials, now it will move that hole towards the front of the leg face as you see here. This time I'm going to change the X position to 2 inches and change the Y value back to 0. Open the wireframe view, and we now see that the hole has moved 2 inches to the right of the leg. Change it to a -2 inches, and it will show this hole 2 inches to the left of the leg face. Now, just so it will be easier to see, I'm going to change that dimension to a -1 inch, come back into the wireframe, and change the angle of this particular leg from 270 degrees to 180 degrees, and you will see that the hole moved according to the leg rotation angle. However, it still remains to the left of that leg. Keep in mind you can also add another hole by enabling hole number 3 back here in the Materials section. So I'll enable it now, set the position to -1 for the Y position, and then these can all be pre-drilled out to the bottom of the cabinet. Also, before we leave this Materials Management section, we want to be sure to select that pre-drill holes checkbox if we will be sending these to a CNC machine. In the wireframe view, I've opened up this cabinet to take a look at the drill holes once again for this leg. Remember to click on the Show Processing icon at the top, and then let's take a look at the cabinet from a top view. Select the eye icon, hit Top, and use the roller ball on your mouse to zoom in. Here you can see the 3 pre-drilled holes for those legs, giving you options for each leg depending on whether you want it in the center or closer to the front or the left side of the leg. As you can see, CABBuilder gives you more control over your cabinet legs to the exact orientation and location needed within your cabinets for each of your designs. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video. For more video tutorials, please visit our website at www.cabbuildersoftware.com/training. Thank you.